The Vikings defeated the 49ers 22-17. Shocking stuff here. Brock Purdy 21 of 30, 272 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. I still think he's a pretty safe start week to week if you don't have one of the top quarterbacks, but he is on that low end of starter, especially when Deebo Samuel is out. It looks like this offense can't really get those explosive plays going without Deebo Samuel, which is shocking with all the talent this team has. But I'd still say hold on to Brock Purdy. If you're starting him every week, that isn't the worst spot to be in whatsoever. Christian McCaffrey, just the 15 carries for 45 yards today, but he did get that touchdown, keeping his streak alive. He's still arguably the best player in fantasy. Brock Purdy added 5 carries for 19 yards. George Kittle had a carry for 2, and Elijah Mitchell just had the 1 carry for 1. It is interesting that Mitchell got the carry over Jordan Mason in this one. So if something does happen to Christian McCaffrey, I'm expecting Mitchell to be the guy who picks up rather than Mason. George Kittle led the way in receiving. He had 5 catches for 78 yards on 7 targets. Interesting that he's like just down the middle in this one. He's usually super up or super down. Brandon Aiyuk, this is a little disappointing. 5 catches, 57 yards on 6 targets. I think there are going to be better days ahead if Deebo Samuel is out longer. He's definitely going to be out the next game, maybe after the bye as well. We'll have to watch that, but just keep plugging Brandon Aiyuk into your lineups if you got him in the meantime. Jauan Jennings, 5 catches, 54 yards, super evenly spread out in this one. He led the team in targets. Interesting that Aiyuk was 3rd on the team in targets there. But Jauan Jennings isn't a terrible option while Deebo Samuel is out. Christian McCaffrey helping out his day here. 3 catches, 51 yards, and a receiving touchdown. He is just, there's a magnet in the end zone that attracts Christian McCaffrey here lately. Ray McLeod had 2 catches for 20 on 3 targets, and Ross Dwelley, the backup tight end, had a catch for 12. For the Vikings, good to see Kirk Cousins showing up without Justin Jefferson against a good defense. 35 of 45, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Really good day from Kirk Cousins. He's another one of those low-end starters. You could do much worse than starting Kirk Cousins in your lineup week to week. Alexander Mattison led the way for all rushers. He had 8 carries for 39 yards. Cam Akers had 10 carries for 31. I think the main thing to point out here is that Alexander Mattison was leading the way up until the very end when the Vikings had to run out the clock. So they put in Cam Akers because Mattison has had fumbling issues this year. But up until then, it was still Mattison leading the way. So don't read this box score and think, oh, Cam Akers is definitely about to take over, because Mattison still had the yards per carry over Akers by a lot. And he was leading the way for a long time. So keep playing in Mattison as you normally would, and don't get too carried away with buying into Akers based off of this performance. Brandon Powell had a carry for 5, and Kirk Cousins had the 2 carries for -1. Jordan Addison had a monster day. 7 catches, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10 targets. As long as Justin Jefferson is out, he is a must start. And this is, the 49ers are a good defense, but they're pretty susceptible to receivers as well. So I wouldn't expect this insane output every single week, but still, Jordan Addison, you got to play him as long as Justin Jefferson is out. TJ Hockenson racking up the catches, 11 catches, 86 yards, led the team in targets with 12. He's another, you start him every single week at your tight end spot. Brandon Powell, 4 catches, 64 yards on 5 targets. I did see that TJ Hockenson, going back to that, might have a high ankle sprain, so he could be out a little bit. If that were to happen, I think Josh Oliver is a solid add if you need a tight end, because he is that backup. So watch out for that. Look for updates on Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport's Twitter account for that. KJ Osborn, 5 catches, 47 yards on 6 targets. I think he's a drop in certain spots because Jordan Addison is really asserting himself as that number 1 guy. And when Addison went down with an injury for a short time, Brandon Powell was getting a lot of looks too. So we thought KJ Osborn was in for a much increased role when Jefferson went out, but it looks like he's kind of maintaining this steady middle-of-the-road value. So hang on to him if you have the spot, but I also understand dropping him in certain teams. And Cam Akers had the 2 catches for 30 yards on 3 targets. Ty Chandler, I wonder why they don't use Ty Chandler more, because he looked really explosive out there. 1 catch, 12 yards. Tristan Jackson had a catch for 7. Josh Oliver, that backup tight end I was saying before, 2 catches, 6 yards. Like I said earlier, if Hockenson is out, he's a solid add. And Alexander Mattison, just the 2 catches for 3 yards on 3 targets. That's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow at We Are Drafting on Instagram. The ads for Week 8 are already up there. The drops for Week 8 are already up there. We're going to have the buy low and the sell highs coming out here soon today. The quarterback rankings are going to come out later today. The receiver, running back, tight end rankings are going to come out on Wednesday. And then those defense rankings and the game picks will be out on Thursday. So check that out. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you later.